Hey there and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a video about the most unique bottles in my collection. I'm probably just going to call this a part 1 because there were many others, but I decided to keep it only to 5, and if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments below and I'm happy to come back with, part 2 or part 3 depending on how many more I have in my collection. I've seen a number of people do this, but the one video I personally saw and really loved actually who did this first was Red Adolescence's video, so I will tag his video below, and one of the ones that he spoke about is actually one of the ones that I'm going to speak about. So love that. If you guys want to check out his video, definitely feel free to, and if you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe as well for more fragrance videos from me. So the first one, as I say, he also spoke about, and it is Nicki Minaj's Minajasty. Her fragrances are all kind of in this style where they're all busts of her. I've had one before that I finished, Pink Friday, I think is what it was called, with the lighter pink wig. But they're all kind of in this style, I would say, with the head, like the face, and the wig being actually the cap of the fragrance, and then the bottom is just regular glass bottle, but it's obviously in the shape of her bust and she's different outfits. So I've spoken about the juice before. I'll just very quickly talk about the juice for every one of the fragrances, even though it's a bottle video. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. It's just a very, like a very generic, your run-of-the-mill, candy, fruity, floral celebrity fragrance. It's very youthful, it's very safe. It's not, pushing any boundaries. It smells pretty similar to a lot of Victoria's Secret type scents or even some Hollister ones. It's just sweet smelling. It's very girly. It smells very pink, and it has not the best lasting power, but it's not horrible either. It's really not my favorite, both in terms of the style of the bottle or the fragrance, but I kind of knew what I was getting into. This was just one of those like 1999 shoppers purchases from ages ago, and I happen to prefer Pink Friday from what I remember, so I finished that, and I'll eventually go through this as well. I think this is a nice gift if you're buying a gift for someone younger in your life who either happens to be a fan of Nicki Minaj or just, their kind of own first play perfume or something that, is just nice in their room. I think it's undoubtedly a unique bottle. This isn't your run-of-the-mill bottle by any means, even if the scent is just, like an average celebrity scent. There's definitely other celebrity scents that I absolutely adore, and this just misses the mark for me personally, but in terms of a unique bottle video, I had to include it. So that is Minajasty. Then the other one is one that was talked about 10 plus, maybe 12 years ago in the days of like Juicy Star 07 makeup videos. So for those of you who have been watching YouTube for as long as I have, I'm assuming it's 12 years ago, but seriously, like one of the first beauty gurus before that even started was Blair and Elle Fowler. And Blair, I remember then, had this in one of her videos. She talked about it. She loved this perfume when she was a teenager, and I, at the time, could not find it in Canada. And I was even younger than her, I think. So, or maybe we were around the same age. I have no idea, but I couldn't find it until a number of years after. And I finally found it. I finished a whole bottle, and then a couple years ago, I missed it and I saw it somewhere and I picked it up. And I think that second purchase, so this purchase, was probably a mistake in retrospect, because I kind of, I had my moment with it. It was nice. And now this one, it's kind of just sitting there almost completely full, and it's 100 ml. But all that aside, story aside, it is very, very unique. Betsey Johnson in general has very unique bottles as well. The actual glass part here is slightly hourglass-like with kind of a star or diamond type at the top, and then it kind of goes wider at the bottom as well. And of course, this cap is very unique. It's pink, plastic, kind of inexpensive feeling, if I'm being honest, but it's also, for what the age and style is. So that is what it looks like. You do have to be careful with this cap. I think my original bottle had part of it kind of snap because it is a very thin, quite flimsy plastic. So definitely be careful with that. But in terms of scent, I remember, I kind of have to remind myself, it's definitely more of a mature scent than the Nicki Minaj Minajasty. Not saying that it's mature, but it leans more floral and less candy-like, but it is still, you know, a very sweet fragrance, and it just really takes me back to that time when I first got it, kind of earlier vintage YouTube days. It's very, very reminiscent of that, and even though I didn't own it during the time that she would speak about it, it just transports me to that time of being really young and the very, very start of YouTube. So it's really nostalgic. I don't think it's an actual regret. I mean, it was like, what, $18 this bottle. So I'm happy to have it as part of my collection. Now, having smelled it, because I haven't sprayed it actually in ages, it is nice, and maybe I will wear it from time to time. It's really, I don't know, it's slightly gourmand, but definitely floral, and it's nice. So that's just Betsey Johnson by Betsey Johnson. If you ever tried it or had it when you were younger, you might want to pick it up again just for nostalgic purposes. Or again, I think this would be a really nice bottle for someone younger to just have as like their first perfume or their first couple play perfumes. So then we get to some more mature scents, and one of these ones is actually Moschino, and this is Toy 2. And this is the, I'm not sure, oh, it's the 30 ml. So this one's definitely unique, a different style, still very youthful looking bottle in that it's these teddy bear ones. All the toy ones are like teddy bear style by Moschino, but this one, I'm gonna spray it on my arm to try to, yeah, so it is kind of, there's an element to it that is plasticky, like a, you know, like a toy doll, like a baby toy doll, or just like a plastic toy smell, and I love that. It's not a note or an accord that you want to smell like every day, or at least for me, even as someone who likes that plasticky smell, I'm not drawn to it all the time, but I do love that element to it. There is, however, a fruitiness to this, and I'm not sure if it's like a pear. It kind of smells like pear to me, but I'm not sure what the, I don't know, the full composition of the fruity notes in here are, and that is what I find the most difficult personally. It just makes it smell a little bit, I don't know, it's a little bit too far for me for all the time. But in general, I'm really happy with this purchase. I think it's really cute. There is another one, and I don't know which one it is, but it's like an actual teddy bear, like it feels like a toy, and this is actually all glass. It's just like carved to be that way. So, and the top is kind of like a thicker plastic. So that one I've never tried, but this one it is. It's just kind of fruity, kind of clean, and slightly plasticky. So that's Toy 2 by Moschino. Then one that I had to include, it's not as out there as the first three, but it is definitely a unique style bottle, and some of your comments on either seeing it in the background of my videos or when I first talked about it really made me laugh about this one. So it's definitely not everyone's cup of tea, and that's Aristocrat by Ajmal. Some of you have said that it looks like a foundation bottle, which I definitely see your point on that, but it is very unique while not extremely out there. The top here is kind of like this dotted texture plastic cap. It does also look like those old school gear shifts in cars, if that makes any sense, but it is very interesting. It's very unique. I don't have any other bottles that look like this, nor have I seen it. It's also very much not everyone's style, but it is unique. And then the actual bottle, this part just seems fine actually. It's just kind of purple, and it has this edge here so that it can clip into place, and it's magnetic, which I love. And this fragrance I've talked about before. I mean, it is a pretty good dupe for Baccarat Rouge 540. I would say it's closer to the Extrait personally, but it is a really good dupe, and I really enjoyed it whenever I'm in the mood. It's, I mean, I've never done that like exhausted talking through all my dupes of Baccarat Rouge 540 video. Maybe I'll still do it for those of you who are interested. I know a lot of you are over Baccarat Rouge 540, but maybe it'll be fun just to talk through my opinions, because I think there was like 30% of you or so, 35% of you who are interested. So if I do talk about it, this will definitely be one I'm mentioning. I think it was one of the first that I ever owned. But in terms of the bottle, I don't know what it is. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I actually do really like it. So it's unique for sure. And the last one's actually a very recent purchase, but it is very unique. And this is, oh my goodness, I'm forgetting now. Idole. This is Idole, and it is very, very unique, by Lancôme. Extremely thin. Otherwise, if this had been, you know, thicker, it just would have been a regular bottle, but it's a very, very thin rose gold bottle, and I have tried standing it up, and it just makes me feel too anxious. It can stand up because it is flat on the bottom, but it is so incredibly thin that I personally don't think I feel comfortable having it standing up unless I put 2 other fragrances pretty near it, because it will take up a lot of space. I've seen people kind of store it this way in their collections, but you know, with someone with so many fragrances like me, I cannot waste real estate so much for a fragrance. So I'm gonna try to stand it up between 2 fragrances, but it's incredibly unique. I know it is not everyone's or a lot of people's cup of tea in terms of design, but I have to say there is something aesthetically pleasing for me with how thin this bottle is. It's not practical. It's not the best in terms of when you're actually having it, you know, as part of your collection. But in my personal opinion, there is something about this which is really, really intriguing to me, and you know, in the end, quite unique, because I personally haven't seen a bottle so thin and, you know, tall, and it actually is classy in its own way. So love that. And that is my video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this part 1. As always, don't forget to subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, and definitely let me know in the comments which one of these you've tried, want to try, and if you want to see a part 2, and I'll see you next time. Bye.